Hey, my name is Dhruv, and I just completed my first solo. The solo is one of the first major milestones to getting your private pilot's license, and it's one of the most memorable moments of a student pilot's journey. I'm a student pilot because I have a dream to fly into national parks in a fat-tired Super Cub. I want to see tree-covered valleys, rivers, and mountain ranges from the air, land in grass fields, and camp with the minimal weight I can carry in my aircraft. This solo was the biggest first step towards that dream. So it all starts with a pre-flight check, looking at your flight control surfaces, checking fuel for contamination, looking for any leaks in the engine bay, and overall, just making sure that the plane is ready to go. We pushed the plane out and started our pre-taxi checklist and then our startup checklist. And here we can see that the plane starts for the first time today. So one kind of funny part about our airport and our T hangar specifically is that the radio is kind of blocked by the buildings and the hill. And to basically get clearance for your taxi, you got to pull up right before where one of the taxiways starts. So that's what we're kind of doing now, just kind of pulling up and getting our clearance from the ground. And if you notice here, the engine sounds really loud because I'm at 2000 RPM to basically just check that the engine is performing well. And so now that it's been reduced, you can hear a lot better, and looks like my dad is just showing us a little view of the airport before we kind of get started and ready for takeoff. Then we just pulled up to runway 24 and made our radio call. And just so you know, this is University Park Airport, KUNV.
University Tower 3073 uniform is moving to order 24, ready for takeoff. We're going to remain in the pattern. Clear for takeoff, we'll make left close mid-left.
Dang, I definitely butchered that radio call, but moving on. And that was takeoff, and we are airborne for the first time on that day. My instructor is sitting in the right seat there, and so the plan is to do 2 touch and goes and then 1 full stop. My instructor will get out, and then I will do 2 touch and goes and 1 full stop all by myself. And so I'm going to skip through a little bit of this because it's just pretty routine, pretty usual, but let me show you the landing here. So here I am on final for runway 24. So in an aircraft, when you're on final, you basically use your pitch to control your airspeed, and you use your throttle to control your altitude. It's kind of opposite of what you would think at first. And now I'm just approaching the airport, and soon I'm going to cut my throttle to idle and gently rest the aircraft onto the runway. And as you heard, that was not a very smooth landing. Reviewing this video after watching it just makes me want to go redo that, and that's basically what we do a couple times here, I'm going to increase the power, and then we're going to take off and just do this a couple times so that I feel comfortable and just kind of warmed up for my solo. But I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead to where my instructor Chris gets out of the aircraft and I really do this thing. So here I am back at the run-on pad to drop Chris off.
Okay. Thank you. I will.
And if you can hear it in my voice, I'm starting to get really, really nervous.
Miss my AC.
There goes Chris. So I start to get pretty nervous right about now, and you might hear it from my loud exhales, but I have things to do. I need to run a checklist for takeoff, so that's what I'm doing right now.
For the first time, Dhruv is alone by himself.
University Tower, 3073 uniform, student pilot solo is holding short 24, ready for takeoff. Holding short, 73 uniform.
There's a flight landing. Dhruv's waiting. Gotta wait all the way for the other flight to, other aircraft to leave the runway or take off again. Once they roll out of the runway, looks like they are actually doing a touch and go. Yes, there they are doing another touch and go. So Dhruv is going to wait, and then there you go, he's ready.
This first lap was, I wasn't really enjoying it, to be honest. I think I started to enjoy the flight a lot better on the second time around. So I'm going to speed this up a little so that you can see the first landing, and we'll get to the touch and go and see the rest of the video.
Kind of low on altitude, but he is coming on, doing good.
In my second lap, I started to gain a lot of confidence about my skills and just started to enjoy the flight. It was a really pretty day out, and I wish I set my camera up better because this view of the side pillar and my face really just sucks. I've got to do it better next time. Second lap was pretty much identical, but my last landing really did feel perfect. Unfortunately, my GoPro stopped recording for some reason, so here's a clip that my dad took.
Coming down after finishing it solo, all by himself.
Yeah, and like my dad just said, that was the end of my solo. It didn't really feel that crazy after it was over. I was talking to my dad on the way to the car, and it's something that felt very routine, but still really amazing and really fun, and super surreal that it happened in the first place. It's hard to believe that you're on your way to becoming a pilot who can just get in his car, drive to the airport, scan his badge, jump in a plane, hear that engine roar, and then just take off and fly wherever you want to go. But it's happening, and it's very real, and it's awesome. And as tradition goes, here is Chris writing the details of the solo on the back of my shirt.
There you go. Alright, sweet. Thank you. Yeah, anytime. Congrats.
Awesome.
Okay.
And the last thing I want to show everybody is this really, I think Dad looks really cool here, of him and his instructor in 1991 of July, which is pretty much exactly 30 years exactly before I did my solo. So I think it was kind of almost meant to be in a way. And with that, I just want to thank my dad for getting me into aviation in the first place, and the rest of my family and friends for supporting me. So, have a good day, everybody.